it's Adele Di Casso here. I hope you're all well. I've had an exciting couple of weeks and I want to share with you some of the things I've been up to. I've been away to Spain for a week for half term. We had half term, so our son was off school, so we went to Spain for a week. And whilst we were there, my husband and my son and my nephew all went off snowboarding for a few days. So I had a lot of time to myself to do a lot of reading and thinking and, reflecting. And it was actually a really, nice time for me. What I like to share with you guys is things that, that I hope are going to make you feel happier, make you feel more successful. So I just want to share two of the books I've been reading over the past couple of weeks, because they definitely have, put me in a feel good mood, and they've left me, I've come away from them feeling, really, really good, about myself. I feel good in that I feel energized, and they're just genuinely good books that have left that really good feeling. So I just want to share them with you. The first one I started to read on the plane on the way out to Spain. So I had my Kindle because it's the first time I've actually took this Kindle on the plane. So I was looking forward to trying it out, but I sat down and I got ready to pick a book, and I realised that I had very restricted choice because I hadn't downloaded all my books. So I'd only got a certain few that I'd already downloaded, so I was a little bit limited, but it actually worked out for the best because I had a book called The Element, which is by Ken Robinson, and the subtitle is just bear with me, How Finding Your Passion Changes Everything. And I'm so glad that I chose this book to read out of the few that I had. I'm so glad that it was one of them because it really was good. And I'd started it before previously, but I'd never finished it. But literally I was so absorbed into this book on the plane, and I didn't look up for the 2 hours and 45 minutes that the journey took. So really, really glad that I had that one available. I just want to share a few things from it. He talks about, the book's all about people finding their passion and becoming really good at things, and sometimes they don't find them till a lot later in their life. But this particular story that I wanted to share with you, a lady had left school, left university, and she'd gone off into a corporate profession. And then when she was 26 or 27, she somehow came across, she rediscovered her dancing that she'd done previously when she was younger. And although when she was younger, she'd never really become that passionate about it. She'd never been, totally absorbed in it. She'd just done it as a hobby. But now, when she revisited this dancing, she found that she became, obsessed with it and really passionate about it and wanted to, to be her best. So the bit in the story that he tells that really sort of made me feel good was that she'd had, like, it was, I don't know what kind of dancing it was, whether it was ballroom or something like that, but I think she was she had a partner, so she'd left dance classes, she'd gone away for a while, and she'd come back, and her partner noticed how she'd improved, and he said, "Oh, how have you managed to improve your dancing while you've been away?" And she just said, "Oh, I practiced on the plane." So she'd been mentally rehearsing her dancing in her head, and I just think that's amazing. I've heard it, so many times with sports people, where they practice the game, golfers practice the game in their minds and then go and play. Runners, run the race in their minds and then go and win the race. And it's just, I find it so incredible. So that really stood out to me about her. And then the author was saying that when you take time to step out of your normal daily routine and just, revisit some of your passions, remarkable things can happen. And I just find that so exciting. And he also said that we have the capacity to, discover passions at any age. It doesn't matter how old we are, but, sometimes people, there's people that have started, massively famous businesses that haven't started them till they were mid-60s or even 70 and beyond. So, there's just so much time for everybody available. And I just love things that make us feel, like, if you find your passion, and my passion is, sort of reading and sharing what I learn and, and about how to be successful and things like that. But, you can have, there's probably other passions that I haven't discovered yet that, that I don't realise that I'll be passionate about. There's just so much out there, and I think, you know, what we need to do is just try so many things, just try loads of things, as many things as we can, because we never know which one is going to be that thing that, you know, really lights us up. Right, moving on to the second book then. So I read, once I'd got to Spain, I started another book because I'd finished that one on the plane, and this time I chose to read a book by James Altucher called Choose Yourself, Guide to Wealth. Now, I'd read his other one. He's got another book before this that's just called Choose Yourself. So I'd got a general idea of his sort of success concept and how he worked and how he lived. So I decided to, you know, branch out and read this other one about becoming wealthy. And he doesn't just talk about making money. He talks about having a wealthy life, you know, like feeling wealthy in all areas. So what he talks about, and I had briefly read this in his other book as well, he talks about having a daily practice, and he likes to have this daily practice where he looks after the 4 areas of his life. So we've got the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. Now, for the physical side, he talks about, you know, making sure you get a good night's sleep, make sure you're sleeping properly, make sure you're eating properly, and make sure you're exercising properly. Then on the emotional side, he talks about being around the right people, and I can really relate to that because, you know, the power of association is so important. Who we spend our time with, you know, we become the average of the 10 people that we spend our time with, so that's really, really important. Mental, on the mental side, he talks about coming up with 10 ideas. Can't get my words out. 10 ideas a day. Now, I'd heard him say this before, so I'd actually got a book for ideas that I'd started in 2017, and I called it My Journal for Ideas, and I started to write down ideas. Now, he talks about writing down 10 a day. I didn't quite make it to 10 a day, but I did write ideas down. It's quite interesting to look back through what I'd written in here. But the ideas can be, you know, about anything. Just random ideas. And he said, don't worry if they're good ideas, just write them down, because it's all about exercising the muscle in your mind. So we do exercise to exercise our bodies, but we should also exercise the muscle in our minds. So I've started to do that again. I'm continuing now to write ideas in here, and it's amazing what you come up with once you start doing this. So then spiritual. Now he talks about, you know, on the spiritual side, it's about recognizing when you feeling maybe anxious or worried. It's about acknowledging that, and then quickly going to write down something that you're grateful for. So again, this is, you know, why I relate to him, because I do, gratitude, you know, is a big thing for me, and I always make sure I'm writing down things I'm grateful for every day. And he, you know, stresses that as well, that if ever you're feeling that little bit anxious, just stop yourself, learn to recognize it, and then write down something you're grateful for. So those are the 4 areas. Something else that he said that really resonated with me was every morning when he wakes up, he thinks to himself, who can I help out today? Who can I be of service to? What can I do to help someone? And I just love that philosophy. I just, you know, start every day with that mindset of who am I going to help? It's just such a great way to live. And then one more thing. Oh yes, I was going to talk about, as soon as I got back from Spain, I had a couple of days here to sort of regroup, and then I was in London for a weekend with my daughters. One of my daughters is starting off on travels this weekend. She's going travelling with her boyfriend, so we decided to have like a girls' weekend before she goes. So it was absolutely brilliant. It was really, really great, and obviously I love London. And every time we go, we seem to find a different part of London. So this time we were exploring all around Victoria and Pimlico, and it was just amazing. But yes, what I tend to find is when I go and have, you know, these times where I switch off for a day, I mean, obviously I'm still, you know, checking my workload and my emails and things, but when I'm doing something that I'm loving to do, good stuff happens. Like I get new people coming into my business, I get new customers, and it's happened so many times now. It's just definitely not a coincidence. When you have a good time and you relax, good things happen. Your attraction, you know, your vibration is obviously raised, and you start to attract the good things that you want. So it's just, I'll never be, you know, I'll never stop being fascinated by that. I just think it's amazing how that happens. So yes, that's my last 2 weeks. It has been busy, but very, very productive and very enjoyable for me on a mindset level with all the books I've been reading and everything. So yeah, I really recommend that you take time out for yourself and just, you know, spend some time to reflect and write in your journal about how you feel, and, you know, and do some reading and stuff like that, because it really does make you feel great. So that's all from me today. I'll be back in 2 weeks' time with another video. And so until then, have a great time, and I will see you then. Bye for now.